Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have James on Dark Depths versus Chris on Entombsday. Once upon a time, leading things off for James, finding an Elvish Spirit Guide. And this is Rainbow Depths, a little bit faster than the builds that we've been seeing kicking around Legacy. So we've got Gemstone Mine and Once Upon a Time acting as acceleration as well, finding that Spirit Guide. Lotus Petal, Duress. And that's actually a pretty strong start versus Chris on Entombsday. And he's going to Force of Will. So I believe, if this name is correct, Chris is on a Tin Fins variant that has access to this basic island. Is making me suspicious of this deck name. So there is a Tin Fins build that runs a transformational sideboard into Doomsday. But this is looking like a very blue deck compared to a Dark Ritual heavy Entomb deck based off of that first couple of plays. Oh, no, but this is it. All right, we got Dark Ritual into Entomb, 2 black mana floating. Now, Dark Depths builds actually have access to crop rotation for Bojuka Bog. That is one of the most important lines in this deck for interacting, and there it is. Such a small thing, just the inclusion of a single Bojuka Bog all of a sudden turns all of your crop rotations into basically 1 mana counter spells. Getting rid of the rest of his graveyard as well. Not just countering the Entomb, but getting rid of the Shallow Grave, but also getting rid of the target for future Shallow Graves. Though the Shallow Grave should actually be in the graveyard. Probably not going to be super relevant, but that would be the more accurate game state. Bojuka Bog would come in while Shallow Grave is on the stack. Graveyard would go away. You could also respond to the Shallow Grave with another Entomb if we're going next level here. So you Entomb, Shallow Grave, they crop rotation for Bojuka Bog, you respond with another Shallow Grave, you would actually get your Gristlebrand at that point. It's a pretty mana intensive line, but it could certainly happen. And Depths right now kind of playing like a control deck. Oh no, going Hellbent casting an ESG. Ponder, I would rather be on Chris's side of the table here. Now there is a Pithing Needle naming, presumably probably Gristlebrand. Let's assume it's on Gristlebrand. And Inquisition sees a Shallow Grave and a Goro's Vengeance. Functionally similar here. Neither one of them gonna win the game for Chris with that Pithing Needle out. Yeah, Gristlebrand attacking for 7 at a clip is not going to be good enough. Yeah, barring this Pithing Needle, it would be much better to be on Chris's side of the table, but that makes all the difference in the world, as is Gristlebrand now. I guess maybe you hope to hardcast it. I'm not actually sure how Chris is going to potentially win from here. Get some rituals built up. Just ride a 7/7 lifelinker. Finally a Dark Depth. So this will be over shortly. So this Elvish Spirit Guide having some fun smashing about, but at the end of the day, this 2020 is actually going to be the thing that crosses the finish line. Getting that Altered Underground Sea on camera. I believe we're entering the scoop phase here. We'll see. And there we are, yeah, so get these icons correct. James picking up that first game. We'll see if he gets swerved by this Entomb, or by this Doomsday transformational sideboard. That is a strong part of this build. But crop rotation, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten people with that. I used to have a Turbo Depths deck on hand all the time when we were doing tournaments in store, would often lend that out to people. And it was very often, if I was playing, I would just get people with that crop rotation for Bojuka Bog so often. Just really devastating. It's also really good in Cloud Post when you've got access to, of course, crop rotation, but the ability to then get Vesuva to copy Bojuka Bog. The first Bojuka Bog kind of gets people. The second one just buries them, because a lot of the time those decks just move all in thinking the coast is clear. They've rebuilt. They're moving all the way in to finish you off with a graveyard recursion of Past in Flames or whatever it is, and you just casually grab a Vesuva and copy the Bojuka Bog and exile their graveyard again, and that's just absolutely brutal. Kind of makes me want to run trade routes so I can like pick up the lands and replay them. It's a good time. All right, Chris, Marsh Flats grabbing a swamp. Dark Ritual Doomsday. That is going to be a lot harder for James to interact with. Right out of the gate. So he's going to have a basic swamp. And he's going to have to stack this up with a winning pile. They have evolved over the years. Expect this to use Thassa's Oracle. We'll see how fast this ends up being. Lion's Eye Diamond can be part of that mix as well, giving you the mana that you need. And there are Street Wraiths. Various cycling cards that can be used here. The original Doomsday piles from Vintage back in the day were Mind's Desire, fueled by Black Lotus and Dark Ritual, to flip a Beacon of Destruction repeatedly. So that was actually the most elegant Doomsday pile from the kind of earlier serious builds of Doomsday. That was back in Scourge. And then Fifth Dawn gave us the Beacon. Yeah, so it was in that era. And yeah, you would just Ancestral into Lotus, Dark Ritual, and Mind's Desire. James getting a look at the rest of the deck. Seeing this Tin Fin Shell still in there. Echoing Truth, a card to potentially look out for on the following game. You got to assume you're going to be losing here when your opponent resolves a Doomsday. So yeah, Echoing Truth is going to be the answer to potential Merit Lages. A little slow. 2 mana. And technically you can actually figure out what the cards are in your opponent's 5-card pile. Like if you know their deck list, you can actually go through and sort it out, but you don't really have enough time to do that in a tournament setting. One of my favorite responses to Doomsday has been mana denial. There are a lot of the times the mana is precise in the execution of the combo, so a thing like a Wasteland or a Strip Mine or the pair of them, something like that will actually turn Doomsday into a win condition for you as you knock them off of their ability to actually play out those final 5 cards perfectly, and when they can't, then they're actually just going to die from their draw step in a few turns. It's always a good time. We've got Lotus Petal from Chris. And if he has like a basic island in hand, then I would expect just cycling into Thassa's Oracle. And Inquisition takes a look, sees Shallow Grave and another Doomsday. None of that's going to be super relevant. In all likelihood. We've got Predict. That's going to get rid of the top card and then let him draw something along the lines of... I mean, actually, there's a lot of ways this could go. Let's see if he gets it without the graveyard. So, cycling by sacking a basic land after cracking LED and getting Thassa's Oracle. Elvish Spirit Guide, crop rotation is there, but that is exactly what Entombsday is designed to do, is sidestep that graveyard hate. So he picks that one up thanks to not needing to use the graveyard. I was a little concerned that he might end up needing to use Shallow Grave, depending on how he had stacked that up, but there should always be ways of completely bypassing the graveyard. James actually has access to Stifle there, and it looks like he's kind of mulling over whether or not tapping out was correct or not. To be fair, if you have Stifle, it's almost certainly incorrect to tap off of it, as, I mean, they've already resolved the Doomsday. They've got the goods coming off the top of the deck. And looks like they may be done here. Maybe I missed the first game. I believe that was just 2. But we'll just go ahead and call it there, I guess. That is all for this one. But don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.